In PCW, we promised you that we would have some exciting announcements about worship, and here we are. So, this coming Sunday, August 16th, and the 23rd and the 30th, we are going to be hosting worship through Zoom. You may be wondering why we would do this. It's going to give us a chance to interact more with one another, and it's going to allow us to do things like bless backpacks and work bags this Sunday and ordain and install our incoming class of elders and deacons on the 23rd, and we're cooking up some other fun things for the weeks to come.
Whoa, Pastor Ann. How is this going to work?
Well, we are going to send out a Zoom link in the Friday e-news blast. You're just going to click on the link on Sunday morning, and that will connect you to our worship service. So if you connected to the congregational meeting via Zoom, you already have Zoom on your computer. So all you have to do is click the link. If you didn't, Zoom will download itself onto your computer whenever you click the link. You can try that maybe on Friday when you see it, or just give yourself a couple minutes before 10 on Sunday, and it will connect you. If you're a little bit uncertain about how Zoom works or if you're going to connect properly, Pastor Gray and I will be there at 9:45, so 15 minutes early, to greet you and help make sure that you're connected properly. So if you're a little nervous about it, feel free to show up early and connect with us that way.
But I just figured out, finally, how to connect to worship on YouTube. Why can I not connect that way? I just got used to it.
Well, so actually you can.
Oh.
You can connect via YouTube. So we're actually going to live stream from Zoom to YouTube. So if you're used to YouTube and you're stressed about making a shift, at 10 o'clock, as the congregation is going to be gathering on Zoom, it will also be putting the video right onto YouTube. So you can gather on YouTube at 10 as well at the same time. The only difference will mean that you won't be able to interact directly, but you can indeed watch worship and participate on YouTube.
But what about my siblings, my brothers and sisters who usually connect on Facebook and they love connecting on Facebook? What about them?
Well, we are encouraging folks who are normally joining at 10 a.m. on Facebook to click on the Zoom link and join us that way. I know that the folks who join at 10 like to send little comments to each other, so Zoom is going to give us a little bit of that interactivity. Okay. So for those of you who like Facebook for that reason, we're going to encourage you to connect via Zoom, or you can click that YouTube link at 10 a.m. And do it that way if you don't want to get on Zoom. And then later in the day, we're hoping by 1 p.m., it'll depend a little bit on Zoom, but we're hoping to have it uploaded on Facebook. So if you're one of those folks who have things going on Sunday morning, you watch later in the day on Facebook, it will be available to you. So it won't be available right at 10 a.m., but just a little bit later in the day, you can still do it via Facebook as well.
Well, that sounds really great, Pastor Ann, and I would love to join worship via Zoom. That sounds like so much fun, but I got to be honest with you. I have gotten used to Sunday mornings with my coffee and in my pajamas, and I usually attend church in my pajamas since COVID's hit. What do I do?
Well, so if you're uncomfortable, you don't want to put on real clothes. I know that's a challenge with our children. You don't want to put on real clothes. Your house is a mess. We won't judge, but if you feel uncomfortable by that, you're welcome to leave your camera off. So you'll be able to see all the worship leaders. You'll be able to see those who've left their cameras on. But if, having your camera on is going to be an impediment to you participating via Zoom, you can still join us by Zoom and just leave your camera off.
Okay. But I have a friend who in the congregation who doesn't use computers or the internet. Is there a way for them to join?
So this is actually one of the benefits of Zoom. So if you know of people, you won't be on Facebook Live if you're one of these people, but if you have a friend who does not like to get out their computer, doesn't mess with internet, has issues connecting, has been feeling kind of left out and out of the loop, Zoom has the potential that they can call in and listen on their phone. So they won't be able to see the video, but they will be able to hear everything that's going on. The beautiful music we have planned, the sermon, the prayers, they'll be able to listen to it all. That information will also be in the e-news blast. So if you know of somebody, we would encourage you to reach out, give them a phone call, and explain to them, here's the number you need to dial, and here's the code you enter, and then they will be able to join at 10 a.m. and listen in with us.
Will I get a chance to say hello to my friends while we're at Zoom worship?
So this is one of the exciting things we have going. We're going to have a moment to pass the peace, and we'll give everyone a chance to turn their microphones on and say peace in Christ to one another during that moment during worship. And then we will also invite you at the end of worship, if you'd like to stay on, we're going to have some online fellowship time. And so depending on how many people decide to stay on with us, we'll either have one big group or we'll divide folks into smaller groups, 6 or 8 people, just like after the worship service, you might gather in the gathering area and talk to some folks and see how their week was. We'll have a little bit of that time at the end after the prelude. So just stay on the line and we'll have some time for that interactivity. Now, if you're one of those people who likes to slip out the door, you were in worship and you're done, you can do that on Zoom as well. So after the prelude, you can just hit leave the meeting and you don't have to join us for that virtual fellowship time, but we are going to leave the line open and provide that opportunity. Also, as we're recording and as we're sending to YouTube, we'll cut off the live stream during that fellowship time, so that's not being recorded, but will just be kind of those more informal conversations for those who are gathered.
This sounds like a big change, Pastor Ann. Is this a big permanent change that our new pastors are forcing upon us?
So no, this is not the long-term plan. We are trying to move the church from kind of crisis management mode, which all churches went into in March. And you all did an excellent job of making sure that worship was available every week. Tom and Debbie were amazing with the amount of video recording and editing they've been doing. It's a massive undertaking. We're hoping to move to something more sustainable, and so we see Zoom worship as our bridge. So the session has already okayed, and we have the equipment for live streaming. We're working on getting the internet up and going. We're working on getting the room set up so that we can do live stream worship, which means it'll be of the moment on Sunday mornings. We'll be live. There'll be some pre-recorded elements, but we have to work our way there. So we're using this Zoom worship time as a bridge to allow us to see one another, to interact, to have some fun, but then also to give us some time and energy to move towards that live streaming. We're hoping that it might be up and running by September, but we'll keep you posted. So for sure, we know we have 3 Zoom worships that are planned. We'll keep you posted if we need to extend by a week or 2. We want to make sure the live stream is just, solid before we make the shift. But this is going to be our bridge to that live streaming.
All right. My mom's cousin's friend has been really loving connecting to our online worship. They have been enjoying it. I hear from them every week. They love watching it on YouTube or on Facebook, but they're not a member of PCW. They're not a member. Can they join us on Zoom?
They can.
What?
They can. So, like we said before, it will be available on YouTube. Later in the day, it will be available on Facebook. So anyone who is kind of catching it later in the day, it will be available to them. But if you know of people who want to become a little bit more involved, you think they'd like to be live and in the moment with us on Zoom, we would encourage you to have them reach out. And they can ask to be put on the e-news so they get all of the instructions, they get all of the links for the next few weeks. Or they could message us and just say, hey, can you send me the Zoom link? We'd be glad to send that out. Or when you get the Zoom link, you could share it with that person. So if they want to come join us, we want to welcome them.
So we're going to be sending out everything that we just explained within the next 24 hours over an email blast. We're going to send complete instructions on how to connect to Zoom in our Friday e-News blast as well. If you are not on our email list, please message us so that we can add you to the list, or simply send you the Zoom link so you can join us as well. We are so excited about the potential that these next 3 weeks have for doing some more live and bringing us together as a congregation worship. And so look forward to that, and let us know if you have any questions. Don't hesitate to reach out to Gray at pcwyoming.org or Ann at pcwyoming.org.
Or you can even put questions in the chats if you don't mind that we answer them publicly. So if you think it's a question lots of people will have, go ahead and make a comment on this video, and we'll be glad to answer them for the good of anyone who might come across this.
Thank you all for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.